Yes, guys, welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. It's Monday night. We're looking back at game week 31, but most importantly, we are looking forward to Monday night football and to game week 32. And of course, Alexander Isak Gate. Will he start? Will he not? Dean, how's your game week, mate?
Yeah, it's going okay, mate. Good to see you in the sunshine over there. Hope you're having a good time. My points so far, I'm at 54. My overall rank, as we sit here right now, is 283,000. So that's nice. So I've got 2 to play tonight, Livramento and Isak captain. So could be good. Could be good. You're on mute, mate.
Assistant manager chip for you. How did that go? Because obviously you went Glasner, right? So Glasner, 6 points for the win.
Got 8 points, yeah, altogether.
I guess you didn't get the clean sheets are nice because you get +2 for a clean sheet, I think it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, you take the 8-pointer, don't you? That is all. I mean, you get 5 of them, 5 8-pointers. That's a good looking 40 points.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? So I was talking to the other day, like, what am I doing here? What is my aim? I just spoke to you and Big Man in detail, like, what did you get? What's my aim here? And it was quite nice to learn that about 40 points is what I need. And so that's when I was like, well, Glasner's got 5 games then to get 40 points. And that seems reasonable to get to over these games. Obviously, at least one of them won't go to plan for Crystal Palace, but then he's got an extra game to make up for it rather than go for 4 games and having to make transfers of a manager, and I can save transfers for other things. So yeah, I committed to just going Glasner from here on out, and that was a nice start, especially as I had Mateta, I had Munoz, suddenly got 24 points off of Crystal Palace alone. So basically, almost half my points came from the Eagles.
That is amazing. I love it when that happens. That is the beauty of that chip. And Munoz, like, do you remember a couple of streams ago? I think it was Big Man and you were on Wildcard, and we were ranking our Palace assets. And Big Man was going. I feel like he was going something along the lines of Mateta as a start. I don't know what he was doing, but it didn't involve Munoz. He had double Arsenal defence and Gvardiol. He went against that and put Munoz in, and I didn't grill him on it last episode. I wish I had. But Munoz is in his team, and he must have seen that goal and gone, thank God I did a U-turn last minute.
Phew. Yeah. So let me just check actually on my phone here where I am compared to Big Man, because he is the pace setter in our little CGA world. Big Man, he's on 43 points for this game week.
Who did he captain? Did he go Salah in the end?
He did. He went
Get
Salah.
In. Come on.
Salah. So he's got Livramento and Isak to play tonight. Well, Isak's obviously flagged. Well, that might be out by now. Is the team out?
No, we got half an hour. We'll react to it live on CGA, guys. So stay with us for that.
Yeah, half hour till that's out. So yeah, he's got Isak, but not captain. So me and you did commit quite aggressively to actually having Isak. So I was very pleased to see Salah put up the lackluster performance he did. So yeah, I'm 30 points currently behind Big Man, but I've got Isak as captain, so I can really close in on him tonight. And then I've got the 4 games of Glasner assistant manager to help me overtake him. And by the time the chip's done, what will I be on? Week 33, 34? I've still got a free hit. I'm still not getting my hopes up here, mate, but I could, if I manage this well, I could beat Big Man.
Well, you've both got free hit. He's free hit in 34, and you'll probably have to.
Well, I'm going to mirror it, mate, because he's going to tell us what it is on this show, and I'm just going to absolutely mirror it.
No, we'll make a last-minute change and not tell anyone. I'm Daniel Munoz. Guys, we'll do a poll. Will Isak start tonight or not? We'll react to the news live, so we won't speculate too much. But the Newcastle fan forums this morning, there was a lot of chat about, Isak's not going to be risked. Then there was a few local journalists and Newcastle-only press reporting that he hadn't travelled. Those press have then, one of those guys, I think it was Ollie Gill, has since come out and said, I wasn't sure what to do with the information earlier. I decided to tweet, but we know Newcastle are a club that will sometimes, Eddie Howe will sometimes put out fake rumours, apparently. And he decided to go with it and bit the bullet, I think was the term I saw used. And I might be quoting the wrong journo when I say this, because there was a few of them that said various things. Anyway, they've since tweeted, either deleted tweets or gone back on those tweets and said, oh, actually, I think he's available. So it looks like they're now saying the majority of local journos that said he weren't travelling or hadn't travelled have now said that he has, and he's expected to start tonight, I think now, which is a bit rubbish because I had, for the second week in a row, a haul on my bench in Morgan Rogers. I benched him for 11 points in 30, and in 31 I benched him for 9 points.
Mate, I had Morgan Rogers, and I've missed loads of Morgan Rogers points this season. And I had this dilemma this week where I was like, Bruno Fernandes, Morgan Rogers, and Bellegarde, who I was convinced was going to have a good week. And Bellegarde was in and out of this team. And in the end, I was like, I cannot pick Bellegarde ahead of Rogers or Bruno Fernandes. I just can't do it.
Well played.
So thankfully, Rogers did make it. And so did Gvardiol. I wasn't 100% sure on him, but I thought I have to play him ahead of Dan Burn and Kirkes. So again, 9 points off of Gvardiol. The only good thing to come out of that.
Hey, I've got a tweet from Magpie Media who has quoted Ollie, who the guy. This isn't any breaking news, but it's just funny. I had the same info as Ollie here, and I was genuinely going to post it earlier on. He was brave, bit the bullet, but it's wrong. These things happen in the industry. It's a known fact that Newcastle leak things, mostly untrue, to create confusion in opposite camps, test relationships with journos, to well-followed accounts on here. Literally part and parcel of it. The sad little FPL accounts creating mass hysteria around every related tweet helps absolutely nobody either. Absolute cretins.
Well, why is he tweeting that?
Oh, he's going to get so much hate.
He wants FPL followers, right?
Yeah. What is in the team news in the first place? Yeah, he knows the vast majority that care are the FPL lot.
Are the FPL world. Like, they obviously Newcastle fans do want to know, but ultimately fans just normal fan just wait until the lineups are out. Like, do I really care about? Do I sit in the pub with my mates really like aggressively worrying about whether Munez or Raul Jimenez is starting the game? Not really. Do I care when we chat about it? If we're thinking about picking him for FPL, absolutely. And it's been my job in the past when I was on tabloid newspapers to break team news and to get leaks, and there is an ego attached to it. Like, and if you're wrong, oh my God, it hurts. And like, if you go like that on social media, you're hurt. You're hurting. And obviously, it's a ruthless world. You can't get it wrong. It's poisonous. You're going to get battered. So I don't know where that information came from. We'll find out which way this goes, but it's starting to sound like, was it a guess? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. You could have a guess if you want, couldn't you? If you could spend the whole season going in over these big dilemmas and just having a punt. I'm not saying this is what this guy did, by the way, but you could start an account. And if your first few went the right way, you're suddenly an FPL ITK with 100,000 followers.
Mate, I've got a mate who got paid. I was with him. He got paid. He played along with it. He was predicting a team's lineups. He's an FPL account ish. And he was predicting a team's lineups, and he kept getting it right. But it was a team that's pretty easy to predict. Like, I genuinely agreed with all his predictions for like 3-4 weeks. Got a few DMs. One of them was from someone that works with bookies, and they offered to pay him £1,000 a month retainer if he continued to leak or started to leak their 11 to this guy via DM rather than post it. He did it once, and it came in, so he got sent. He got sent £1,000, and he was completely. It was all BS. He didn't. Yeah. And then they soon clocked onto him, but because he was getting it wrong. But like,
fella says he knows your mate.
Yeah, fella definitely knows my mate. Fella does know my mate. He's going to kill me for telling people that. But fella will keep it to himself.
Yeah, it's of course it happened. And to be honest, it happens in my world of transfers too. Like, you've got to take the stick when it comes. Like, if I don't aggressively tweet transfer news, I like put out stories out there, but I try not to be too speculative, aggressively. Like, this is going to happen, or like this is the situation exactly as it is right now, and so will sign for this team. Blah blah blah. I always try and like go down a level from that, because I've learned over the last 20 years that it could be wrong. Like, no matter how, I've had information from like the person that turns out to be not true because there's a last minute change, a last minute decision. And you suddenly look stupid. You weren't wrong. What you reported was right at a certain point in time, but now it's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's all that people care about. So we'll have to wait and see. Dean was the guy who started the rumor about Schneider to Man United, says Peter. No, I mean, I started.
That went on
I don't
for
think
about
I did that one. But yeah. But
mate,
yeah,
you know,
so
my
that's how we
Saka,
are.
you know my Saka rumor the other day, which we joked about on CGA half an hour after I tweeted it, like that. Oh, it was was it April Fool's? Oh, I do know some guys at AFTV. Like we had a laugh at it on the show.
Yeah,
I can't tell. Honestly, I can't tell you the amount the FPL, as the Geordie guy would call them, cretins, went in on me for it.
Did
It
you
was
lose
obviously
followers?
I actually gained some, which was mad, but yeah. But I got some proper hate, and it's I honestly, sometimes it can be a sad little place. It has to be said.
Yeah, CHD. We know Dean's most viral tweet. Yeah, we've spoken about that before on here, haven't we? When
your wife, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a picture of my wife. Yeah, got like 1.5 million like views or whatever. Yeah, the only tweet I've ever made money off. I think I got a tenner for it.
Yeah, I don't make money off tweets anymore. I remember when they first monetized it, I had a few and I was like, oh, I've got a little bit of spare change here, but it doesn't seem to happen anymore.
Tenner. It's still, I don't even know how I get that tenner. It's still somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know how I get that.
Problem with my tweets now, mate, is 90% of them are just plugging a YouTube episode or an article to read. Like, it's like, if you're going to put them on Twitter, you're just getting, and I haven't got the time or energy to plan to actually tweet good stuff at the moment. So I'm
trying to get back into it. I'm trying to get back into it. Danny B says, Dean, did you ever consider making a transfer news channel on YouTube? I have, yeah, I have considered it. And if I'm going to do something like that, it's got to be done properly. Like, it's no half-hearted. I need to know that I can put everything into it. So I still haven't ruled that out, Danny, totally. So, yeah, maybe we will. I will look to do that soon. There's a couple of things that could open up. So we'll see. But I'm not just going to start a random one that I've got to be able to stick with it. You know, it's like the consistency and you've got to make sure that you can, commit. Let's see what happens.
I
put
it off for years. I put it off for years, the FPL account. And I always go back and go, I wish I had done it sooner. And for years I thought about it. And go on. Yeah. Sorry, mate.
FPL fella says, you're an hour ahead. Surely you already know the Isak news.
That's
What's
a good
your guess?
point.
Go on, have a punt. What do you reckon?
He starts. And there's a reason I captained him. I thought from day one he'd start. I really hope he doesn't because of Rodgers. And Rodgers is such a differential 9 points that, whatever.
Look, we are at the point now where, because sometimes so 15 minutes before the actual lineups come out, there are some places that actually do get the lineups and some people do hear about the lineups. So there is potential that before the next 15 minutes, we hear the Isak starting. But if not, we're 15 minutes away.
Yeah. Loads will be watching this after the event on Newcastle. So we'll move on away from Newcastle. Guys, do like and subscribe, by the way. Timestamp for our producer. The first 13 minutes of the show have been on Newcastle preview. But we'll move on now. And guys, we would love you. We've been waiting till like 45 minutes in to say like and subscribe. But genuinely, if you are watching and there's 178 of you that are live, please do consider hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already hit the subscribe button. And look, let's move on to just a little bit on the attacking emphasis in the Premier League at the minute and how it might be falling flat, because I saw a really good graphic from Rob T earlier, who's a must-follow Twitter account, but he's produced not only let me talk you through this chart, guys. It's really interesting. So from game week 0 to where we are in 31, the grey bar is the amount of, or the average goals per game. So that's the actual goals. The grey bar is the actual goals. So on average, in game week 15, there was an average of 3.5 goals a game. Game week 15 and 16, they're the highest. The red line is what we always look at on the Friday shows. It's the predicted sort of market odds saying West Ham are going to score 1.23 goals this game. And you can see it's pretty accurate, that red line. Interesting that the bookie always wins though, right? The vast majority of the time, the actual is below the red line. Only in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, the actual is above the red line, that grey bar there. So usually the bookies overcommit to the amount, clearly. And then you can see the blue line, which is the XG per game. This is massive. The XG is obviously the amount of goal mouth action. And we can see as we got to game week, 21? It's pretty much fallen every week other than that one little or two little increases. So we are seeing arguably fewer shots, fewer big chances, lower XG. Why is that, Dean?
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? I'm just trying to think. I was like, what is the reasoning for this? Like, what? Let us know in the comments. Like, genuinely, what do you guys think has happened here in terms of like the drop off? Is it just that teams understand each other better? I mean, there could be it could be reasonable to believe that in the second half of the season, these numbers do drop because
Defenses are better.
You've had long enough to kind of understand people's game plans, understand the trends of how they play.
Injuries kick in, Chris Wood's out. Are there more injuries later in the season? Therefore, you don't have your first 11 out as much.
Yeah, more tired. Nick and Derek are both saying more tired. So that's definitely something that's feasible. But what we also get, we all know, in the back end of this season is some really wild score lines. So we're about to hit the territory, probably 34 onwards, of like a random 5-2 win, or one of the top teams gets turned over like 4-0 just because they're suddenly 8th in the league and they can't make the Champions League anymore or whatever. So that's coming soon, and that might kind of put paid to some of this because once that you get a couple of teams on the beach, like, I don't know, West Ham or something like that, there's just nothing to really gain from the season at this point, unless you're Ange Postecoglou and you're trying to just fight for your job. But a lot of people just think it's down to exhaustion. But I do think my argument that it's also down to understanding other teams' tactics is probably played into it too.
Yeah, for sure. Fatigue coming up a lot, same as injuries, and you're right there, Dean, with all those points. I do think that the midweek football later in the season, you expect, like, as all the midweek action comes in, European, the EFL Cup, whatever, you'd think that maybe there's a drop off, but actually we haven't seen that. When you take the first 10 weeks, it's actually really slow. So the question for me isn't just like, oh, why is there a drop off at the moment? Because that could just be an anomaly. It's actually, noticeably, you see fewer goals at the start of the season. Now, I always wonder about external forces like, I don't know, the weather. Does the weather influence more attacking football when it's sunny in August? Should there be more goals because it's not windy and wet and boggy, or you don't get boggy pitches anymore? But that clearly doesn't play into it, because you look at the height of winter and that's when you're getting most of the goals. So again, maybe again, that's worth comparing season by season. This is just one season. Gordon not in the squad, says Lewis. We will let you know if that is, or let us know your source there, and we'll let you know if that's true. But I mean, we did always expect, like, Gordon would. I thought if he played, it'd feature. I certainly never thought he'd start.
Isak 76% thought he would start today. So we are 8 minutes away from finding out whether that is true.
Yeah, okay, nice. Right, let's move on away from this. And mate, I want to talk about Man City a little bit. Not just the Manchester derby. No, feel free to go for it, yeah. Oh, yeah, go for yeah. No, you're good. Man City, let's go Kevin De Bruyne and Marmoush, shall we? Because since we've last spoken, go for it. Yeah, just she's in there.
It's like you're running a hotel, mate. It's like you're running a hotel and the guests have just turned up.
I lost a train of thought. Marmoush, should we go Marmoush and De Bruyne?
Yeah.
Because since De Bruyne and his future, what are you thinking with him? Because it was we always hoped for San Diego for you, but that looks less likely now, doesn't it?
I mean, it's off the table now. They decided not to go for it. It doesn't fit with the ethos of the side, which is fair point. Like, we've got a young team that's built in a different way. There was definitely talks. I've said all along, actually, that it was actually the De Bruyne camp that approached San Diego rather than the other way round. And San Diego did show an openness to it, but the funding of it and the fit into the team, San Diego actually got a very good midfield. I still think they could do with a Kevin De Bruyne, but they're fine at the moment, to be honest. I mean, NYCFC, New York City, makes sense because they are City's sister club, right? So there's no way that hasn't been explored in some way or other. Surely Inter Miami can't do it.
It's like Lampard went, didn't he? Lampard City to New York City.
Yeah, so I'd say that's the most likely for me. I know that De Bruyne, one of the reasons he obviously wanted to go to San Diego was California and the lifestyle and stuff. So LAFC, LA Galaxy, I don't know, whatever, that sort of thing could be feasible. But obviously those guys, they've got some big earners already too. And you need MLS support if you're going to do this. So there is another club that will have the discovery rights already, I'm sure, on Kevin De Bruyne. I think it's NYCFC. I just haven't been able to stand it up yet. I've been trying. Marmoush, I mean, I was kind of happy with just the one, to be honest. I didn't, because you think, how many people captained Marmoush in the end? Did you know? Like, was there a decent amount?
Very few. Like over 5 million. Over 5
fear.
million went Salah, by the way. Salah was just like over half the game on Salah. But Marmoush didn't get much love in terms of captaincy. But so many did go. Marmoush in terms of a transfer in, he was one of the most bought. Like, I think when I bought Marmoush on free hit in 29, he was something like 7 or 8% owned. He's now at 28%. Like, he has had a huge rise in recent weeks. But there's a lot out there that had Foden as well. So as you say, like going just one for Man City attack feels like it's like, other than Marmoush, you can't predict the minutes. No one saw Savio, Doku, Grealish benching. All three of them that played well against Leicester got benched.
Yeah, exactly that. And so, I mean, Marmoush, you just stick with him now, don't you, for the season? Everyone's going to be, that 28% ownership will go up again, I'm sure. I'm glad to have him, but I think it's going to be hit and miss as to when his goals come, but there'll definitely be a fair few to follow. The Cole Palmer call was obviously the big surprise for people, wasn't it? The lineup that Enzo Maresca picked for Chelsea.
And yeah, Jackson and Palmer, like they're both. I mean, I guess they've both been out for a while, haven't they? They both missed the international break. Jackson for longer, and they both played close to 90 on Thursday night. And it was a Thursday night game for Chelsea versus Spurs. But you look at Chelsea Spurs and you go, that's the easier fixture at home to Spurs. Away to Brentford is the potential banana skin. Like, I would have preferred to see reduced minutes versus Spurs and actually play the Brentford game. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Chelsea were better when he came on, obviously, Palmer, and they finished the game quite well. But Chelsea needs to win.
Exactly. I know. Yeah. Savio says I captained Palmer. Oh, the pain. Sally says Foden seemed injured. Maliki says anyone buying Foden needs to have a long look at themselves in the mirror. I mean, you ain't going back to that, are you, mate?
Do you know what? I always bang on about Foden, and everyone assumes I'm going to buy him at every opportunity. I don't tend to. In fact, I do not buy Phil Foden unless he's concrete first choice in the Man City team. Every time I've bought him, he might not have been the best FPL pick those weeks and blanked or produced the goods or whatever, but he's always been close to nailed when I pick him. Foden's been nowhere near close to nailed for a fair few months. Like, I was surprised so many good FPL managers went there. I'm not going to lie.
Very strange one. Very strange.
One went and they all followed. That's what it was.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Two went and they all followed. And it was like, oh, God, you're on wildcard, dude. Like, think for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I am surprised. Like, I've had gone from 440,000. I know the game week's not over, but 440,000 at the start of the game week to 280,000 right now. And I've only got 54 points. Like, that's definitely a bigger jump than I would have expected. Let's say I know it's not finished yet, and that might change, but it also could go up further depending on if Isak plays and scores as my captain. So that confused me a bit, to be honest. I thought I knew it was a bit above average, but I didn't think it would be that significant, So yeah, it's been a strange old game week. How do you feel your team is set up, mate, for the end of the season to get through this? Well, tonight and then next week.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I look at game week 34, which is the big blank, and everyone that's wildcarded is going to be free hitting in 34. Completely understand why. It makes sense. It's a blank game week, and there's some good teams blanking. Teams like Aston Villa and Man City. 34 is a great time to free hit. Yeah, this is a great graphic. So these four teams are popular FPL teams. If you've wildcarded, you've picked Arsenal players, you've picked Villa players, you've definitely got double or triple Palace, and you've all got a Man City or two. So I'm going to have to wildcard in 34 because, again, I've got the same players, right? I have probably 7 or 8 players from those four teams. So I'm going to need to free hit wildcard in 34. The annoying thing about wildcard 34 is we're not going to know who's doubling in 36 and blanking in 37, or doubling in 35. Yeah, doubling in 36, because it's 34 is the same weekend as the FA Cup semi-finals, and the teams that win the FA Cup semi-finals then go and get the double game weeks. So you've got a punt, and I look at the FA Cup semi-finals and go, I'm probably going to have to commit to the fact that Man City do beat Forest, or that Villa do beat Palace, to get the doublers for 36. So I can't react to the semi-finals, which is annoying, but I can go with what I think happens in those games. And I'm going to make sure in my 34 wildcard, I have 4 players on the bench from teams that could double, like Man City or Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think you're only good. You've got to try something special in those last weeks, mate. So you can use that wild card to be a bit different. Not too different, obviously, but you can shake it up a bit and just see if you can have a last strong push. We should be only 1 minute away or so from finding out some team news. So bear with us. If you're about to put your phone down, don't go anywhere yet. Danish says Isak has arrived. Is it true? I haven't had any alerts yet on my phone as to the news, but keep your eyes peeled to your news feeds and let us know as soon as you see or hear anything about Alex Isak. I really need him to start this game.
I really need him to not start. I'd love it. I'd love him. Well, I'd say the worst case scenario for both of us is he cameos off the bench. We either want to see him in the 11 or not in the match day squad, but I would love Rodgers off the bench. I'm not going to get it though. He's going to start. I've got Newcastle's Twitter open, and they usually, that's usually the best. Here we go. Oh no, that's the under 21s.
Yeah, so everyone's saying, sorry, I get excited now because I know that people get the leaks now.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So like the official, So you're all right. Sorry, I worded that badly.
I got 15 minutes.
Yeah, but from now, I know that some broadcasters and few people like within the club get the team sheets, start to hear the news, and that's why there's some accounts that will regularly and always have regularly announced team news 15-20 minutes before you actually see it, and that's why I'm starting to now anticipate that the Isak news will bang. So maybe I'm wrong. Obviously.
I have got an exclusive, and it is live on Twitter. 33 seconds ago it was posted, and it's Man United will listen to proposals for Højlund from Dean Jones.
They absolutely will, yeah. They're not going to be getting £64 million for him is the problem.
Atalanta did very well there. Did very well selling at that price.
They pulled their pants down. That's what they did. So yeah, that is true. Look out for Man United, linked heavily today to Liam Delap. Also, some new links to Matheus Cunha. Cunha, I did a story on in end of February saying Man United are interested in him, but £65 million. They don't have that at the moment. Liam Delap is more affordable than Victor Osimhen, which is probably why Man United are happy for people to believe that one for now. But Man United transfers will all depend on whether they're in the Champions League and whether they can sell Alejandro Garnacho, etc., etc. What do you want to talk about next, mate? While we wait for this Isak.
Let's go towards what we're early thoughts, which I think we've got in the thumbnail for game week 32. So this is a week where it's triple Newcastle, it's triple Palace for those that have got 6 of those players. I don't think we can spend a minute or two ranking. Let's not rank Newcastle players because until tonight it's difficult to say. But I think Crystal Palace, we both agree it's Mateta, it's Munoz, and then it's one of the midfielders, Eze versus Sarr. So let's do a little bit on Eze, Sarr, but then also the other players in 32, because I look at my team and my single game week players in 32, of which I've only got 5 of them because I've got 6 that are doubling, are really good. Like I've got, and I think most will have this, I've got 2 Chelsea players versus Ipswich at home. I've got Salah versus West Ham at home. I've got Marmoush versus Palace at home. And I've got Pickford. Fine. So we're going to see, the long and short of that is, we're going to see some massive scores in 32. Some massive scores. And I expect Isak's going to be everyone's captain.
My big concern about my team here is that I have so much Crystal Palace involvement. So I've got Munoz, I've got Mateta, and I've got Glasner. But then I also have Gvardiol and Marmoush, who play against Crystal Palace in the first game week. And then I have Livramento, Burn, and Isak, who are doubling, of course, but the second game is against Crystal Palace. So I don't even know how you maximize the points out of having all of these players available. I guess it just gives me a better chance of getting points, whereas they're not both. They can't all get good points, given that half my team's playing against each other across 2 of those games in the game week. So that's a bit of a concern. But yeah, I'm excited about it for sure. My early dilemma does actually come down to Bruno Fernandes again. He's got Newcastle away. I've got Mbermo, who's got Arsenal away. And I've got my mate Bellegarde, who's got Tottenham at home.
And Burmo with Arsenal wedged between the Real Madrid games is nice. And we've got to talk about those teams that have got Champions League Wednesday, Tuesday turnaround. I think Arsenal were Tuesday, Wednesday, so they got 8 days. But Aston Villa are Wednesday, Tuesday, PSG. Like, you look at it and go, oh, Rodgers versus Southampton's perfect. Rodgers ain't starting. Surely you're playing 90 versus PSG on the Wednesday. Maybe in the match day squad or just totally rested. And then it's 6 days later after that, it's another 90 or even 120 needed. Like, Aston Villa are going to rotate en masse for Southampton.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to be honest, mate. Sorry, you cut off for a minute then, just a second ago. Hopefully you come back. But I just saw a message talking about Gianni's background. It does look well nice where he is, Colombo. I totally agree. It's like something from a movie, and there's people that keep walking past, like picking lemons or something off a tree. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's a lot of lemon plants there. Like, look at those lemons.
Mate, where are you?
Yeah, so this is the Airbnb. These guys own the land that I'm in, and so they live in the big house. It's two old people, like 70s, 60s, and then I'm in like their little former barn, which they've converted to an Airbnb. So I'm in that, and then next door to me, there's another Airbnb there, but their front door is like the other side. So I've only just seen her for the first time in a week. Just now, it's the lady that came up behind me, the Scottish lady. So she lives there. So yeah. But the grounds are spectacular. Like, it gets
so cool.
It's like, it's amazing.
That really is amazing.
And it's gated and like child friendly and dog friendly and stuff. So it's great. They don't usually allow dogs, but I came on a recce last year and I was like, look, I don't want to pay your Airbnb rate, which is per night. Like, I want to stay for 3 months. Like, what can we do? And they've literally halved the rate, but then they've got 100% occupancy. So
are you actually there for 3 months now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm flying back to England for a weekend. For 48 hours to do Sky on the Saturday, Premier League on a Friday. But other than that, and I'm not leaving London. Other than that, I'm here for 3 months. Yeah.
It's very funny that I've literally landed in London last weekend and you literally left for 3 months. Like, there's no crossover at all of us being in the same country. Fast Air says Gianni mob boss going back to his roots. I tell you what, we could have. If we haven't already got the best show in the FPL world on YouTube, we will have the most scenic if I can find somewhere in San Diego when I get back. I get like a cliff view of the ocean or something with me just set up. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe it'll be our last one of the season or something.
Your members only videos have some. I mean, the fact that you see pure sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, and like palm trees. I love your members only videos.
Mate, that's what London's been like since I landed. I haven't seen a cloud in England since I got here. It's been unbelievable.
That is mad. Carl Baxter made it such a nice comment. He says, FPL YouTubers who act like real people. Love you both. Thank you, mate.
Oh, that's really kind.
Yeah, really, really appreciate that. I do think that is something that hopefully you get on Chasing Green Arrows. You will see a bit of our personalities, whether we're, ripping Big Man for not putting Mateta in his team when he said he was going to, Manoz, or, showing you our backgrounds, whatever. But yeah, we really appreciate the support, guys. And we love the fact on a Monday night, towards the end of the season, there's 311 of you still watching live, and thousands will watch this on catch up. So thank you. We would love to be seen by more people, and you can help us do that by just sharing Chasing Green Arrows with your mates. Obviously, hit that subscribe button if you're not already. And the beauty of subscribing is you then control the algorithm, and we want you to do that. Sally says Isak is there. So we'll try and calm the Isak chat until we know 100%, just for all those watching on catch-up who were like, dude, we know Isak played. He came off injured at 48 minutes and he blanked, whatever. But yeah, we'll keep you up to date with that.
Yeah, I just want to shout out, by the way. So I don't know if this guy is in our chat right now, but Steve Bunn is top of our Chasing Green Arrows League.
Right.
And Steve Bunn is 68th in the world. So we have someone who is in the running. He's got 2,216 points at the moment. And we actually have someone on 2,215 points as well, Bjarke Fredsland, who is 70th in the world. Now, the leader of FPL currently has 2,263 points. So it's not implausible that we could have someone like top 10, top 20 on our hands. I mean, if it went really well, they could try and win it. But like, that's pretty cool. So
cool.
if you are here, give us a shout out. I don't recognize either of those names, I have to say.
No.
But obviously they've watched it at some point. So do let us know if you are in the CGA League and doing well.
Did you see the person that was winning FPL? I don't know if they're still top, but about a week ago they were top. Her name was Susan. There's a woman called Susan.
She's third.
She's third now. So she didn't even use her first wild card. She didn't even use her first wild card, and she's top of FPL. I think maybe there's like a Salah perma captain there. She's eye test only.
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
She hasn't got Isak. She hasn't got Isak captain. Yeah.
She'll be hoping.
She's got a bit of a rogue team. It has to be said. Isak checking in. Newcastle United posted Isak taking selfies and signing autographs. Is he starting? Is he starting? We're not far from finding out now. There still hasn't been that leak that I hoped there would be. But
yeah,
at the very worst case.
I can see he's arriving in the ground though, which is he's definitely there. So he's in the match day squad. He's in his tracksuit and stuff. They've done a video. Let's rank those Palace midfielders for those still buying. Eze got 9 points. Sarr didn't. Or Eze got how many points? But are we thinking still like there's little in it? 1 week Eze wins out. 1 week Sarr does. Eze the better pick, but there is over a million in it. So
I would pick Eze. I would always pick Eze. But Sarr's still a good pick. Like if I'm just fascinated by Eze as a footballer, and I just love it when he turns up properly. So like I like having played. When I first started playing FPL, I used to pick the players and like that I actually just liked, and used to be able to get away with that a bit more because it wasn't as competitive. And I just pick out a proper team that was like a 4-3-3 that would like actually work.
you'd put the guy at right back, make sure he was right footed.
Yeah, like keep moving him around until he got into the right back slot.
I went a whole season early on. One of my first couple of years playing FPL, I went a whole season being like, I'm not going to pick Wayne Rooney because I dislike him so much, and he was banging him every week, and I was like, but I couldn't do it. So yeah, that's fun. Guys, let us know any rules you play or played in FPL. Mark says he's 266th in the CGA League. Nice. Susan from the offices, Taylor. There we go. Guys, captaincy in game week 32. Let's assume Isak is available. He's going to be. Anyone not going Isak? Let's just do a quick game week 32 captaincy poll. Remember, Isak has home doubles versus, I think it's Palace and Man United. And then Mateta goes to City and Mateta goes to St. James's Park. Anyone looking at someone else? We'll just do Isak, yes or no. Like, if you're not captaining Isak, who are you captaining? Let us know in the chat. Anyone looking at a single game week Salah versus West Ham, or a Mateta on the double, or a different Newcastle player? But Dean, this isn't a week to overthink it, is it? It's going to be Isak for everyone, and loads with triple captain are still going to go there.
Surely, yeah, surely. I mean, you could go Mateta, I guess. I mean, you could try and go again if you were braver than I am. You could gamble a bit and go Mateta, but Isak with the 2 home fixtures, both reasonably, well placed. Newcastle should beat Man United. Whether they beat Crystal Palace or not, I don't know, but I would still expect Isak to score in both those games. FPL Freddy says it's Isak every day of the week. Sally said I'd even triple captain if fit.
Me too.
Yeah.
If you've still got that chip, I think the best time to use that chip if you've still got it. If you're not bench boosting, you're happy not bench boosting in 32. It's Isak 32. You could go Saka 33 on the double. I still prefer Isak 32. You could go Marmoush 33. There'll be doubles in 36. It could involve Man City, who play Southampton in one of those games, possibly. Yep. But again, it's Pep attackers and banking 180 minutes for anyone. Even Marmoush could be risky then. I think Isak with 2 home games, with no midweek football this week. He plays Monday, but then no game till Sunday?
Yeah.
And 2 homes, St. James's Park effect, playing for 5th, Champions League, just having won the cup. There's so many reasons to back Newcastle and Isak. I expect him to bang tonight. I expect him to bang in the double game week. If you've still got triple captain, I genuinely think it's the best time to use it next week on Isak.
Yeah, it does definitely have that taste about it. Let's see, a couple of minutes left until we get that announcement on Isak. What do you want to talk about before we find out, Matt?
I'm not sure I'm going to even watch the game tonight. I don't like I get to bed so early, and the game's kicking off at 8 p.m. local time here. I'm like, I have to be in a different room because I have to be like the wife wants to be in bed watching something on whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't work for me. And I know this week I'm going to have to stay up Tuesday and Wednesday nights because the Champions League games are too good. I'm like, do I really want to do 3 nights in a row of 9 p.m. local time kickoff, 9 to 11? It's just too. No, I'm going to have a night off, I think.
Really? Yeah.
And the Champions League games, we should probably talk about in terms of FPL effect on Arsenal. Like, how do we feel about Arsenal in 33? Like, Real Madrid's the priority, but it was another week where Arsenal conceded. And so many that on wildcard have double Arsenal defence. I've not had an Arsenal defender for forever.
Yeah.
And thank God they conceded. Because every week I'm like, yes, that goes against the template when they concede.
Yeah, I mean, I have got Raya in goal. I'm just going to leave it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's fine, but it's not fine that they keep conceding. I'm just glad I haven't got double anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to buy Raya still. Like, I just don't think the double up's on, and no Gabriel makes them weaker.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what, talking about watching football, mate, I've remembered how much harder it is to watch football here for me than it is when I'm in America. I really like the 8-hour time difference when I'm watching games either first thing in the morning or in the afternoon while the kids are at school. That is really helpful because these kickoff times and having kids and bedtimes, and also half the games aren't even on TV here, as opposed to all of them being on in America. So I'm actually watching less now that I'm in England than I would have watched if I was in San Diego. So very weird one. Fast Air says, looks like Gordon is out. Yep. Gordon not going to be featuring tonight. Countdown is on. It is now 6:45. And so we should be getting our Isak confirmation that he's on. It says Newcastle United unchanged.
Yeah, it's the same 11. And
Isak starts.
That means Trippier also starts for those that are worried about him. Barnes against his old club. And the thing about Gordon is worth noting, he's not even in the match day squad. That would concern me for the double game week now. Like, I thought Gordon was going to cameo tonight, get 10, 20 minutes, and then go, he's good now for a start in 32. Mm-hmm. His first match back could be off the bench in 32, which makes him a non-event in 32 in terms of risk, I think. Barnes against his old club's been playing well. Murphy is there. Livramento, a lot bought in, and Dan Burn. Yeah, it's unchanged. And are we expecting like a 3-0 win here?
3-0 win. You that confident, are you? Yeah.
I think I am. They're that bad.
It should be one of those nights, where they just get to enjoy themselves, and have fun. I mean, they could try and park a bus, but they're just incapable, I think, based on what we've been seeing from this team. They're pretty poor. So I guess anyone that captain Salah is now dreading tonight.
That's going to hurt.
That's going to
hurt, isn't it? And some went Palmer, and that's bad. Neil Robertson went Palmer, by the way. He was in my WhatsApp chat being like, I can't believe this is just pathetic that I've gone Palmer. And
why did he do that? Yeah.
Oh, he's a Chelsea fan, isn't he? But he just fancied it. And he watched the game against Spurs and was impressed by Palmer. Looked all right, but I mean, big man nearly went Palmer. Big man went Salah. He was between the two. If Isak goes and gets a hat trick, that's a big swing for Salah.
Oh my goodness! Like an Isak hat trick tonight would absolutely rock this game.
It was too safe though, wasn't it? I've been pretty vocal on captaincy the last few weeks on Salah. Like, I think Fulham is the only team this season. He's in only 2 games he's failed to have a shot. Or maybe it was a shot on target. I think it was a shot. And in both Fulham games, they're the 2 games. The 2 games he's failed to have a shot is against Fulham. Anthony Robertson's got him in his pocket.
Yeah, it's very strange, isn't it, to consider what a Salah is these days and how good he actually is. Obviously, Liverpool's next matches are West Ham, Leicester, Tottenham. So you got that Leicester game, and you're thinking, well, surely you captain Salah for that one. But there aren't many games left in the season where that will be the case. Like possibly the last day of the season, Crystal Palace at home, especially if it's like, I mean, whether it's his last game, probably not, but whether it's his last game of this season and he's getting like awards and like all the ovation for his goals this season. They're probably the only 2 game weeks when I'm thinking of captaining Salah so far. Oh, Sigurd, thank you very much. He's given us money for Isak starting and also some sunscreen for you, Ju.
I need it. I think I'm going to need it, especially with 3 months of this. I've been here over a week and I've not put a single drop of sun cream on. So yeah, dear. Mate, I probably need that. I keep saying to my wife, no, it's the Italian skin. It's fine. She's like, dude, you're red. You're red. Yeah. So yeah,
you've just seen my tan getting more deep as I've been sat there in San Diego. You're like, I can't sit here. I can't sit in England anymore.
Oh, Sigurd, that is so generous of you. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. Mate, I was just looking ahead. You mentioned the final day of the season, and I thought it'd be a little bit fun just to end the show. We'll do a Q&A. We've given our early thoughts to 38. 32. I just want to give our early thoughts to game week 38 because that is the week where we go and have fun and we look at our rank and we go. I remember last season I was at something like, I think I was at something like 25k, maybe 35k, and I remember thinking if I had one hell of a week, I could crack the top 10k. But if it goes badly, I'll probably finish at 50k, right? Like I lose 10, 20k or I gain 10, 20k. So go big. And I can't remember what I even did. My memory, I'm not one of these people that will go on game week 31 last season I did this. And I can't, so many FPL content creators can do that and it's amazing. And I went and took just a big punt. It went badly. I finished at 46k, but you've got to put your name in the hat, I think, on the final day and maybe even the final few. And this season, I'm planning on doing that on wildcard. So I'll do that with 3 or 4 game weeks to go. But in game week 38, there could be some fun. I just looked to go, will De Bruyne have a nice, juicy home fixture? That would be nice. Like send off De Bruyne versus Ipswich. Could you punt there? He's away at Fulham. That doesn't help. But where do we look at the final day of the season and go, like Arsenal, Southampton?
Saka.
Yeah, like Arsenal always do this on the last day. The season's over, the pressure's off, and they go and win 6-0. Like Saka captain versus Southampton or something like that.
Was it Foden last day of last season? I seem to remember Foden doing well on the last day of last season. For City. It's hard to remember which title-winning year it was, but yeah, I think Saka has like one of those sorts of days for Arsenal against Southampton. Poor old Aaron Ramsdale relegated for the 3rd time already, and his season ends against the club that got rid of him. So more misery coming his way. So Arsenal, obviously, we're going to be looking at Newcastle and Isak. They have Everton at home, so you could definitely imagine that Isak ends with 1 or 2 in that game. Liverpool home to Crystal Palace. Palace will be done for that game. I know that Crystal Palace fans are already selling their tickets for that game to Liverpool fans.
Wow.
Think about it, mate. Think how much money you could make.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Of course, they get that away allocation, and you wear your red shirt in there, and it's fine because there's barely any Palace fans. They don't care about the result.
Yeah, I mean, you could pay for all of next season's games, selling your ticket to a Liverpool fan who wants to see his team win the league. Like,
wow, I've never thought of that. Of course, that happens. Yeah,
so I know that is already happening.
So and now go full strength because it's the last day at Anfield and blah blah blah.
Like it's celebrate. Exactly. Yeah. So that's a big day.
So Salah captain will be very popular. But then again, do you look at Isak Everton or Saka Southampton? It'll be split, and then you've got wildcard shouts like in terms of 1 week punts, like Bournemouth Leicester could go big. Like I don't know. You look at a player like out of nowhere, could Semenyo go bag a hat trick? Maybe. I quite like, as I'm not going to bring in an Ipswich player, but I bet Ipswich beat West Ham at Portman Road on the last day. It's like we're not going to be in the Premier League for a while. Liam Delap's on his way in the summer. Liam Delap goes and gets a brace. Yeah,
Liam Delap's a good bet. Yeah, I'm not sure I could back Leicester at Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are probably a good bet to keep hold of 1 or 2 of their assets for the final day. That's probably a good place to.
Mate, Delap has. Has Dean dropped off? Yeah, I think he has. Guys, this is an awesome stat. In fact, I'm not going to tell you. Where does Delap? How many points? Yeah, this is the question. How many points off Jean-Philippe Mateta is Liam Delap? How many FPL points? Jean-Philippe Mateta, 7.7 million. Liam Delap, 5.6 million. How many points off Mateta is Liam Delap this season. I tell you what, he's had a fantastic year, and he's not been in any FPL teams ever. Like, who have you seen have Liam Delap? Got a favourite wine yet, Janny? I actually haven't. I've not actually drunk that. I drank quite a lot on my drive over here. I stayed at a really nice vineyard and had a really heavy night, and it put me off alcohol for a week. The wife wasn't with me then, so I went heavy. She was like, "You've got 8-hour drive the next day. What are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, but I'm going to have to lie in. It's not a fun drive." Yeah, your guess is 15, 13, 24, 11, 35, 17. It's been amazing for him. So Mateta has 13 goals, 2 assists. Delap has 12 and 2. Delap is 7 points behind him. That's mad. That is mad. Exceptional value for money there from Jean-Philippe. From Liam Delap. By the way, Leicester are, I think, are also unchanged, if anyone cares about the team news tonight for Leicester. Guys, let's answer some questions, shall we? Still got a couple of minutes left of the show. I'd love to watch you answer your questions. Sorry, people, I don't know where I've gone, says Dean. Maybe his internet's being a bit dodgy. He's checking the Wi-Fi, but no worries, Dean. If you can't make it back, I can handle this for the last 6. Let's do a bit of a Q&A. Will Lookman be in Premier League next season? I don't think he will be, Sally. I think Dean will know more than I will. But firstly, he could, like Gasperini's leaving Atalanta, by the look of it. I think Roma heavily linked. And Juve are in for him, I think. Will Munoz finished the highest scoring defender. Will he finish there? I don't know where that at with defender points. Munoz is currently... possibly, yeah. Yeah, because Aina and Trent are above him and Milenkovic. So they're only 3 and Trent and Aina are out. So yeah, quite possibly. Next question is Game Week 32 bench one. Canate, Gvardiol, Konza. If Konza starts versus PSG, Sally, you won't start. Dean put 50 in the meter. Saka or Mamouche 32. You got to start on both, but obviously Saka. Well, not obviously Saka. Sorry, that's not an obvious. No, sorry. 32. I was thinking Saka had a double. No, 32. Well, Saka's going to play versus Real Madrid ×2, so I'd be wary on Saka in 32. I'd start Marmouche. Going to see big rotation there, guys. Take out Sarr or Eze in order to get Glasner. Yeah, getting Glasner is a great shout. I'd take out Sarr. And which midfielder to get? Rodgers. Oh, I wouldn't. If it's a 1-week punt, Marlon will probably start. But long term, for the double in 33, you'll want Rodgers in. Although don't expect a Rodgers start in 32. The big rotation is going to come from Aston Villa because their Champions League is Wednesday, Tuesday. I think Arsenal's is Tuesday, Wednesday. Do expect a ton of big names missing out for Villa versus Southampton. Mateta or Watkins? Mateta. What are your thoughts on Watkins from 33? I think he still could be risky. Like, he's not fully fit, and Rashford's getting the game time. They're sharing minutes. Rashford down the middle a lot of the time. So I'd be wary on Watkins. Rodgers from 33 would be my Aston Villa pick. Thanks for your questions. Guys, if you're enjoying the Q&A, show your appreciation for the channel by liking and subscribing. Assistant Manager Potter, still scared to do that. I don't love that. I'll go Glasner. Or if you want to go How's a good assistant manager this week with 2 homes. Marlon's a striker, isn't he? He is a striker, but I think is he listed as a striker? I don't know where he's listed. Marmouche or Rashford? If Rashford doesn't start PSG, start Rashford. Southampton's a great fixture, but I expect he'll start PSG. I reckon he'll start Rashford left, Watkins 9. He can't play Asensio because Asensio's parent club. Asensio will start versus Southampton, guys. I will bet my bottom dollar on that. Keep Savinho for 33. Yeah, Savinho will be back in. Aina to Milenkovic. Yeah, keep within Forest. They're brilliant. They keep clean sheets. As an FPL expert, I don't call myself that Maliki. I don't like that term. Channels or broadcasters do refer to me as one, and I ain't going to change them. Like, request them to not. Let's go with panelist or pundit. Would you take a -4 for another 32 double eight? Yes, because they're all good. Bench boost this week: Raya, Gvardiol, Foden, Dean. If Dean starts PSG, I think he'll play. I don't think Dean starts Southampton. No. So go ahead, someone. Yeah, it doesn't look like you need to wildcard. if you do need to wildcard, do it. Oh, I just wildcard in 30, but I'd bench boost in 32. Yeah, bench boost, get it out of the way. Sell Gabriel to someone in 32, definitely. Guys, we're going to wrap because it's just got really cold. The sun's gone in and I'm freezing. I've got my flip-flops on. And Dean's not here anyway. And it's been a really fun show. So we'll be back with Big Man's team selection on Wednesday lunchtime, I expect. So come by for that. And then see us on Friday for our deadline stream as well, guys. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the game tonight. Good luck if you're on Isak captain. Good luck if you're on Salah captain and Isak goes quiet for you. But as always, we appreciate the love on CGA. Drop a comment in this video if you fancy as well. Like and subscribe on the way out. And we'll see you very, very soon. Night, night, chasers.